because we all did so poorly on the last one, we are going to reteach on the percents. So everybody open up on your front page for the packet that we gave you. It all says riddle me this, right? So I'm going to go through just a couple of problems on each of these pages. Now, a lot of today's work is going to be at your own pace. We're going to and Ms. McShannon and I will be around to help you guys out individually. So I think that's kind of what this one's going to require, is some individual work. But I am going to go back and show you guys once again another way on doing these proportions and how to solve them. This is what we call the baseball method. So last class we talked about slam dunks for basketball, turning the mixed numbers into improper fractions. Today we're going to talk about baseball. It all starts with our basic setup, which is again that percent over 100 and is and of. Remember, the is your part, the of is your whole. That's going to be very important on some of these word problem ones. Okay? The first thing I've got to do is set my proportion up. So we're going to just start off right away with the whole piece that we talked about last time. That should be super easy for everybody, right? Now I'm going to go through in order and start filling in my blanks. The first blank I want is my percent. So what is my percent for the end problem? Don't know it. So what goes above 100? X. Then I find my word of. What's right after of? 120. That goes on the bottom. What's left? 30. Okay? So, here's the side I'm moving. Is it easy to go from 120 to 100? No. So here's where the next piece that I'm going to try to teach you guys is set up. What I do is I have a fraction with an equal and another fraction. Now we can play baseball. Baseball goes by finding the numbers that are diagonal from each other, drawing a line around them. The other number, I just circle. So this is where baseball comes in. Who has played baseball before?
I played baseball my entire life.
Your entire life, Katie? Good. So you'll be a perfect one. So if I'm standing at the ball, or at the plate, with my bat, and I'm waiting for the ball, and I'm waiting for the ball to go all the way past me, am I going to get a hit?
No.
No. What do I have to do first? I have to swing before the ball gets there, right? Because if I wait till the ball gets past, I'm done. So the first thing we do is swing our bat. Everybody good on that? So the first thing I do is swing my bat. I multiply 100 times 30. The next thing I do is, now my ball comes, right? The ball's coming at me. If I want to hit a home run, I need to take care of the ball. That's where I'm going to divide. 120. So there's the baseball piece. The two numbers is the bat, it's the long one. The short one's the ball. I multiply before I divide. Everybody good so far? Okay? Now's where our four key numbers really come in. Who remembers our four key numbers?
2, 3, 5, 7.
Good job, Solo. So our four key numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay? Now for these, I'm going to go ahead and add in a 10. If I've got a number on top and a number on bottom and then zeros, take care of that first because those are super easy. So in this case, I have 120 ends in a 0, 30 ends in a 0, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I divide these both by 10. So 30 divided by 10 is going to give me a 3. 120 divided by 10 is going to give me a 12. That should be easy for everyone, right? So now I go through. Can I divide two of the numbers by 2?
No.
112?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right? So I do that. 100 divided by 2 is 50. 12 divided by 2 is 6. I have 2 more I can do by 2. Yes. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I have 2 divided by, now I'm down to a 3. That's one of my key numbers. So now I look on top. Is there something I can divide by 3? The 3, right? So 3 divided by 3 is a 1. 3 divided by 3 is a 1. What am I left with? 25. 25 times 1 is? 25. Divided by 1 is? 25. It's 25%. So now I go to the bottom. I find the 25%. It gets, what was that, an N? So I put an N for the 25%. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I think.
Who said no? Thank you for being honest. Andrew, is that you who said no? Okay, so I'm going to step through it again. I'm going to go slow once again to make sure you guys kind of understand the process. Because once you understand the process, then it's just the math. And honestly, the math is not hard on these. So our next one, again, do I know my percent? And you just start off with your base setup. Do I know my percent? No, so what goes over 100? X. Here's my of, what goes on the bottom? What's right after of? 450. That goes on the bottom, what's left? 90. Is it easy to go from 100 to 450?
No.
Or 450 to 100? No. So again, I'm going to set up my baseball. I'll circle those in this one. So again, that comes first, right? So I'm going to do 90 times 100 divided by 450. Anybody see an easy 10? 90 and 450, right? So we'll do those by 10, gives me a 45 and a 9. What about 9 and 45?
Oh, 5. 1 and 5.
I divide them both by 9. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. 45 divided by 5 and by 9 is 5. Now I've got a 5 and a 100. Can I divide those both by 5?
Yes.
5 divided by 5 is 1. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So I'm left. Again, our whole goal is to try to get to our bottom to 1 if we can. I'll be upfront. If I don't get my bottom to 1, that means you're going to have a decimal for an answer. That's all that means. Which is okay, but this will get the math as easy as possible. So now I do 1 times 20 is 20 divided by 1? 20%. So 20% gets an E. So down to my puzzle, all the 20s get an E, which I think there's only 1. Okay? Are you guys understanding? Now I do need to make one change. For C, I want you to change 1% of 300 is 51. When the numbers they give you, you've got a decimal, and then you have to round. It gets really nasty, even with the cross multiplying piece. So we're going to make that one a little easier for you. Just change up the numbers. Okay? Go to the second page real quick, guys. So these are going to set up a little differently, but our baseball is still going to work. Okay? So now we're going to start again. Set your base model up. I've got the 100 and my other fraction. For this one, what is my percent? So what goes over 100? 20. What's right after of?
What?
So do I know that one?
No.
So what goes down there?
Variable.
Good job. So my variable goes down there. What number is left?
40.
40. Is it easy to go 20 to 40?
Yes.
So let's do it. What do I do? Times 2. So I do 100 times 2 and I get. So again, don't go away from the easy way if you can do it. You don't have to cross multiply. If you see an easy way to do it, guys. No need to do extra work on this. So for the 200, I put T's. So I go through on 200s. There's a T right there. Make sense? So let's look at our next one. Again, start with our base setup. So what's our percent?
15.
So what goes over 100? What's my of? No, so what goes on the bottom? So what's left? 9. Is it easy to go 15 to 9?
No.
No, so let's go ahead, set up some baseball. So now I'm going to go 9 times 100 over, my baseball was 15. The back comes first, right? So I've got 15 on the bottom. What are going to 9 and 15? Somebody see it? So 9 divided by 3 is a 3. 15 divided by 3 is a 5. So now I have a 5 on the bottom. 5 will go to 3, but will 5 go to 100? Yes? So 5 divided by 5 is a 1. 100 divided by 5 gives me 20. So now I just have the two numbers on top. 3 times 20 is Is that hard? Pretty easy if you get used to this, right? So that means on the S, I get 60. So look for S or 60s. There's an S, there's an S. We have two S's. Okay? So we're going to let you guys go for the rest of the period. We're going to knock the rest of this out, but I want you guys doing this individually. Then we'll go over the answers so we can see how well you're doing, okay? Yep, you can do it either way. You can do the step-back method, or I highly recommend practicing the cross multiplying, because just like anything in life, the more you practice it, the easier it's going to get. And although step-back works for 6th grade, you get into 7th, 8th algebra, step-back's not going to work. If you understand how to cross multiply, it will always work for you. Okay, guys? But again, we are not going to limit you on either way. Because you haven't been able to tell. Ms. McShann's a huge fan of the step back. I am a huge fan of cross multiplying. Both are mathematically accurate. Either one can be used. Okay? Okay, next one. Let's just go ahead. I'm going to go through these fast because we've only got a little bit of time left. So what percent of 90 is 45? So I've got my x over 100, 45 and 90. 100 to 90, not easy. So we're going to set up our baseball, 45 to 100, and 90 on the bottom. From here, I can actually say, wow, 45 and 90, that's easy. It goes 1 and 2. So 2 in here gives me a 50. So I end up with 50%. Next one, my percent over 100, and I've got 42 and 60. 100 to 60 to 100, not very easy again. So I'm going to do my baseball. 42 and 100 divided by the ball, 60. Anytime I see this, guys, one of the first things I do if I've got a power of 10, just knock it off. It makes the numbers easier to work with. So now I'm at 6 and 42. That should be by 6, 1 and 7. 7 times 10 is 70%. Our next one. I don't know what it is, so x over 100. I've got 72 and 120. So again, we're still not seeing very many easy ones. So, but if I set up the baseball, 72 times 100 divided by 120, again, do the zeros right away. It's going to make the numbers easier for you. So I apologize if I'm going fast because we don't have much time. But I'm going to say, right off, I can do this by 12. So that gives me a 1 and a 6. 6 times 10 is 60. Now this one we did have to change the numbers. It came out to like 16.98, which you're not going to get either method very well. Although I will say that using cross multiplying would actually get you there better than trying to find a reduction. But this one is an easy one. Because 100 to 300 is just what? Or 300 to 100 actually, because I got to go the other way. I always start with 2. So I'm going to divide by 3. 51 divided by 3 gives me 17. So again, if you can do an easy reduction, or see how you go inside it easily, you don't have to cross multiply, guys. It's do the easier way that you've seen. So I want 17%. Here we again have our percent we don't know. Over this is 24 over 80. This one, I'm going to go ahead and do our baseball. 24 and 100. 80. First thing I do, if I see those zeros, guys, just knock those off. Makes it easy, divide by 10. Now I've got 8 and 24, which hopefully all of you see. 1 and 3. 3 times 10 gives me 30%. Our next one, 60 and 150. So because I'm dividing, it's not as easy. If I was multiplying, I could do by times 1.5. But since I got to divide, I'm going to go the other way and just do baseball on this one as well. 60, 50. Again, we see those zeros. Let's knock those off right away. Divide them both by 10. Now I've got 6 and 15. That's a 3. So I can make that down to 2. This goes down to 5. Now I've got 5 and 100. That's easy to go by 5. So 2 times 20 gives me 40%. The y we skipped. You don't have to do the y because that one's not going to work out very well for you. T. Whoops. Sorry, I went a little far. 1% of 400 is 300. We don't know this one. 360, 400. Oops, we're at an easy one again, aren't we? 400 to 100, I just do what?
Times 4.
Divide by 4, I'm going the other way.
Yeah.
So 360 divided by 4 gives me 90. Okay? Percent of 200 is 500 is 25, so we've got our x over 100. 500, 25. Again, I guess McShann said, a lot of times if you can just do that quick reduction, just go for it. 500 to 100 is easy, right? We just divide by 5. So honestly, guys, that reduction should be your first one. When Mr. McShann has taught you guys, that should be your first go-to. If you see it right away, or if you see a real easy reduction, go for it. But if you don't see the quick one, go to the cross multiplying, because it will get you there, and it gives you a lot more options for doing reductions. 25 divided by 5 gives me 5%. So we throw it all out, what do we get? There we go. The conductor.
Misspelled on purpose because it has duck in the middle.
No, so it's a good math joke. A conductor. Does it for birds?
That's a music joke, man.
It works both ways.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Dan.
Where's the math?
We did all the math. The joke. It doesn't, but it's still a good dad joke.
I feel like conductors should.
Okay, next page. I hope you guys are able to finish this one as well. Okay? This one's to me very easy. What is up with you guys in your water bottles? Okay, we know our percent, that's why we start with it. It makes it really easy when I see that sign to know what goes over my 100, right? Equals, my of, I don't know, so that's my unknown. What's left is 270. 30 to 270, is that an easy one?
Yes.
Yeah, times 9. So 100 times 9 gives me 900. 50%, 200, don't know this, is 50 to 200 easy?
Yes.
Times 4, so 100 times 4 gives me 400.
50% one should be easy.
25, don't know my what, so it's an 80 on top, 25 to 80, easy?
No.
No? Okay, so this one may be a better one to go and do our cross multiplying on. So 80 times 100. I don't know why the board's all of a sudden fritzing on me. 25. So 25 and 100. Is that an easy one?
Yeah, one.
Only because it's quarters. Everybody sees that. Divide both by 25. So 80 times 4 is 320. 10%. 65. So 65, 10 to 65, not super easy. Now maybe a decent step back one, because I go 110, but I'm just going to go this way. So 65 times 100 over 10 makes it easy, because that 10 goes away. 65 times 10 is 650. Now this is a really fun one. 22%. 110. So a lot of you aren't going to see that one real easy. So this is actually a really good one for cross multiplying. 100 times 110 and the 22. Because even if you don't see anything else, you should see the 2.
22.
If I do the 2, that's going to be 2 here is 11, here is 50. Now hopefully all of you see the 11 and 110, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that goes 1 and 10. 50 times 10 is 500. Okay? There's a lot of different ways to go. And that's one of the beauties on this, guys, and really in all of math, is there's actually a lot of different ways to get to the right answer. It's whatever you feel best with. That's why Mr. McShann and I really do try to give you guys multiple ways to do it. Because what one of us shows you, you may not like. What the other shows you may be like, oh yeah, that does it. Do whatever makes you, whatever is easiest, as long as it's mathematically sound. It just needs to be reproducible, not some trick that only works once. So 75 and 100. Hope you guys are getting comfortable with your 25s because it's quarters, right? It's kind of like U.S. money. So I have three quarters and $1, so 3 and 4. Then 3 and 60, that one's going to go 20. Now I just have 20 times 4, or 80. 65 and 195. I doubt many of you saw that was times 3. So we'll go ahead and do this. So 195 times 100, and then we have 65. So on the 65, I've got options. I can do the 5 on either one. So if I do 5 here, that's going to go 1, 3. And normally I'll try to do the other number if I can to keep the 100. It gives you more options at 100. So if I'm going to do this one by 5, that's going to go 39. Then this is one of those that 2, 3, 5, and 7 wouldn't have gotten you to. But hopefully you all see that 13 times 3 is 39. The 13 would actually be like your 5th number, 6th number. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Those are your first 6 primes. But this one's going to go in here 3 times. So now you just have 3 times 100 or 300. The bottom line is really where cross-multiplying can be one of your better friends, because this could have been really difficult if you're looking for step backs. 5, 12, and X, I don't know. But if I write these out, it starts to make it easier. Again, I'm going to just start with that 0 right off. Make it easy. Now I've got an 8 and a 10. I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 out of that, because that's pretty easy too, right? Gets me down to 5. Now I can see at least the 2. If you don't know that goes 4, which it does, I'll tell you that up front, go 2, because the 2 is going to get you there. So I go 2. 2 is going to go into 5 twice, with 1 left over. 2 goes into 11 5 times, with 1 left over. 2 goes into 12 6 times. So for those who don't understand what I did, 5, 12 divided by 2, it went twice. I had the 1 left over, and I just brought that 1 down mentally 5 times. I had the 1 left over, brought the 2 down mentally into 12 6 times. Okay? Now that I'm at 256, I still have an even number, so I know now that 2 will also go again. 2 goes into 2 once, 4 twice, 16 8 times. So I end up 128 times 5, which I've got to do that math. 40, 140, 640. But hopefully you will see that 2, 3, 5, 7, if you look at those reductions, guys, it looks kind of messy, and you do have to have good handwriting, because if you get really sloppy, you're not going to follow what you're doing. But with decent handwriting, those reductions are going to make this math easier for you. Okay, we're about out of time, so I'm going to do this last one so I can cover the homework. What it said was B and Girl Scouts. So obviously play on Boy and Girl Scouts, Boy and Girl Scouts. Okay, your next one, if you're still struggling, guys, if you're still struggling at this point, please do this page. If you're feeling pretty good about it, we're giving you 10 chances on the homework to do it. I'll be honest, we didn't leave you a whole lot of room here.
Can we do it on it?
You may do it on another piece of paper, that's absolutely fine, but if you do it on another piece of paper, you've got to bring the paper with you, because that's what we grade as your work, right? Okay? So feel free to use another piece of paper, just don't lose that, and don't leave it at home. Devin?
Some of the homework things are really easy, but there's just some small stuff that's going to stop. Like
Yeah.
the 50%, all you have to do is divide the whole in half.
Yep. Most of them are not bad, but that's why we gave you 10 of them, because most of them aren't bad. This still shouldn't take you much more than 20 to 30 minutes at most. Those of you that are really comfortable with this should finish this out in about 10 minutes, okay? Any questions on your homework, any of this? Okay. Good job, guys. Well done today.